lights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings in our blood, we rise strong and proud. Running up the score, Kings never back down. If you don't like that, this ain't your town.
Well, before game one of the Kings and the Lakers, Ryan said that he felt these two games were a fork in the road. Well, the fork in the road just led this Kings team right off a cliff. 103-99, the Lakers win. The Let It Fly Kings were only 27% from beyond the arc, and when they needed their threes most in the final couple minutes of the game, the Let It Fly Kings couldn't do anything. I don't know what else to say other than this season is on the brink, and I don't know if you recover from this. I really believe that they do not recover from this. I think this season is heading towards an absolute disaster, Ryan.
Yeah, Grant, they're a beautiful disaster. Everything that they talk about never gets put into action. Everything Mike Brown talked about after the first game, what he wanted to see in the first 5 minutes. The Kings did the exact opposite. They made the exact same mistakes. The game starts off with an offensive rebound, turnover on the offensive end, then a straight line drive, then a pass from the top of the key to Domas that's turned over. Everything that was the problem last game presents itself right here.
I have a question that I'm going to pose a few days before Christmas. You know how vocal I was about the Kings giving Mike Brown an extension last summer.
Yeah.
I said it was stupid. I said there was no reason to do it, but they did it. Had it not been for that extension, would Mike Brown be coaching the Kings next game?
With this owner, probably not. I would think with the decisions and the crossroads that this team was facing coming into this game, win or lose, that's something that you would probably not have in his hands, and you would probably be looking to go a different direction. What do you think?
Yeah, they didn't even score 100 points today in a game that was a must-win. They shoot 43% from the field, 27% from beyond the arc, which is standard for this team. All right. Assist to turnover is okay. Not great, but okay. 25-13. I'd like to see the assist total a little bit more, but when you don't score 100 points, there's not a lot of assist. Sabonis was Sabonis. Fox was tremendous today. And we'll talk a lot about De'Aaron Fox because I have a lot I want to say on this. But the bottom line is you're now 6-10 at home. Can you believe that? You're 6-10 at home. I mean, just think about that for a minute.
It's hard to think about because they're too good, Grant. Individually, they are too talented, yet together they're so bad.
Well, that's coaching.
Grant, look, Mike Brown's not on the floor making decisions for the players. Let's put it this way. Max Christie and Austin Reeves, Jerry Reynolds ranted about how the Kings have this massive advantage on the guard line over these two games.
Yeah.
18 turnovers over the two games for De'Aaron and Malik, 3 for Max Christie and Austin Reeves.
You now also lose a potential tiebreaker against the Lakers because last year you were 4-0 against them. This year you're 0-3. And here's something for you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Your Kings team is now 4 games back in the loss column of the teams that are 8, 9, and 10. They all have 12 losses. The Kings have 16. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. 4 losses is significant. Don't think that's nothing, especially when you're 4 losses behind 3 other teams. That is significant.
Well, Grant, this is absolutely. And think about the Lakers. They were going the wrong way until that win against Memphis, right?
Correct. Yep.
And you come in against Sacramento now. They win the first one against Sac. They go up to the 7th seed in the West, tied with Minnesota at 8. They've got one more win than them. They get this one tonight. So now you have a Lakers team that I, and Jerry Reynolds and many others had falling down the Western Conference. You've now shot them with a boost of momentum.
Yeah, they're now 5th in the West. Can you believe that?
And so with this Western Conference, as congested as it is, 4 games is a lot, but 4 feels a hell of a lot more like 6 or 8 when you look at the way this West plays.
Well, not only that, I'm not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. You have you have an absolute mess on your hands with the narrative surrounding De'Aaron Fox and everything that comes with that.
Yeah.
And so you now are 0-3 on the most critical homestand, because we keep on talking about this, Ryan. The schedule is going to turn real soon. And the easy part of your schedule is in your rearview mirror.
Oh, well, Grant, let's just talk tomorrow. Indiana at 3:00, who is actually a pretty darn good team at times. They like to get up and down. And last time I checked, that game in Sacramento means something to their point guard.
I could see the Kings getting blown out tomorrow.
I could too. And then you got Detroit. Then you got LA again.
Indiana, by the way, has won 3 in a row after a horrible start.
There's no sense of urgency on this team. They only push back when they're pushed.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox, I'm going to go back to him. The numbers look good, but that second quarter, it took the second unit, Keon Ellis, coming into this game to inject energy. Trey Lyles a little bit making some loose ball plays. Kevin Huerter gave you some energy off the bench. Back to the starters. The Kings start off decent in the third quarter, but all the way back to the second quarter, De'Aaron Fox doesn't get a call. He blows a bunny, and what's he do? He makes a stupid foul under the hoop. That changes momentum. That changes pace. It's just a bad
lack of composure
play. It's lack of composure, and that's in the second quarter when it doesn't matter.
Listen, sometimes plus minus can be a little bit, you got to be careful using the stat game to game. But De'Aaron was on the floor tonight or this afternoon for 38 minutes. He had the worst plus minus on the team. He was minus 11, the worst of any player that played for Sacramento.
Yeah. And the Kings, the other thing, the sprays. They talked about we only had 4 sprays in the second half last game.
Let it fly, baby.
Let it fly. They challenged Anthony Davis right off the start. Made no sense whatsoever. You only get 90 shots in the game. It just, the assist, Grant, 25 seems like a lot. It's not. This team was playing one-on-one basketball way too much for no reason.
They're poorly coached right now. What did you think of Anthony Davis's second missed free throw that was rebounded by Rui Hachimura, and then Fox fouled him?
Par for the course.
Yep,
it's what's happened multiple games.
Yep.
They just don't pinch when it matters. It's the little details. Grant, you say the coaching. So is it there's not enough bite on the back end with the coaching, or is it we don't respect our coach?
Well, either way, it's a problem. Okay, so the way you just posed your question, let's say the former is true or the latter is true. It's still a problem, and you can't fire all the players on the team. And by the way, I'm not here advocating to fire Mike Brown. Okay,
yep.
What I'm raising the question: had Mike Brown not received an extension last summer, which was a horrible, stupid move by your owner, and I said so before they gave him the extension, and I said so after they gave him the extension. Had it not been for that extension, would Mike Brown still be the coach of this team after today? And I'm going to say, well, probably wouldn't fire him before tomorrow's game. Okay. But I really question that.
Yeah. The only thing that you could question alongside of that is Monty, with how thin this bench has been. That's been a pretty big criticism as well.
Can't disagree with that. And once again, you have an offensive performance that lacks from Keegan Murray, 3 of 9, 2 of 7 from 3. And it's the same story. I mean, I know he plays tremendous defense. I get all of that, but I need him to score a little bit.
Agreed. Agreed. And Mike talked about touching the ball energy. Keegan was barely involved at points in this game. He hit a three here and there. Here's the bottom line. You and I have had this conversation so many times. What is the identity of this basketball team besides 3-point shooting? Because that's every team. What does this team hang their hat on? And I don't think we can really nail it to the wall over the past season and a half.
Their identity is their cupcakes at home on their home floor.
Positive identity. Positive identity.
Oh, positive identity. Domantas Sabonis pretty much comes to play every single night and gives you pretty much the exact same game almost on a nightly basis. That's a positive.
That's a positive identity. That's one player. Fox can be good in spurts.
Fox can be great in spurts.
Yeah, there's just not that, like, when the Kings bus rolls into town, you know you are getting this brand of basketball. And I think if we were going to say one positive or negative, it would start with an I, and it's inconsistent.
Do you think the season is over?
I do. Here's why. And I'm not making a rash jump to reality. In terms of the fans' expectation for this season, my expectations coming into this season, and I look at the San Francisco 49ers. I look at their offseason, things didn't go right. I look at their preseason. You had injuries. Things weren't running right either. It rolled right into the season. Now let's look at the team here. You got some good moves in the offseason, Grant. But then when training camp starts, bizarre offense, 3-point shooting, horrendous. Team doesn't win a game in the preseason. And that's rolled its way all the way through up until this point. And you've had Mike Brown somehow, some way. Mike Brown saying in the preseason, well, I handcuffed the guys. Well, why are you going to handcuff the guys in preseason when you're trying to work in a new piece like DeMar DeRozan? Nothing makes sense. They're going to be up. They're going to be down.
All right, I'm going to go on. I'm going to do something a little bit different today, so bear with me, okay? It is now time for a rant with Grant, and it is brought to you by EDH Motors. EDHmotors.com is where you'll get all the information. If you're looking for a new vehicle this holiday season, go see EDH Motors, Mercedes, Land Rover, Toyota, whatever brand you're looking for, EDH Motors can get it for you, and you never have to step foot into a typical franchise dealership. Go to EDHmotors.com. They've got a little bit of everything from exotics, highline, classics, economy. And if they don't have what you're looking for, guess what, folks? They'll go get it for you. Go see their beautiful auto lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. It's awesome. And experience something you never thought you could when it comes to buying a vehicle. EDH Motors, automotive, reimagined. All right. So here we are, right? The Sacramento Kings are 3 games under 500 and 4 games under 500 on their home floor. And I got to tell you, I'm tired of hearing about De'Aaron Fox. All right. I'm tired of hearing about Fox doesn't want this, doesn't like that, coach calling out Fox. I was tired of De'Aaron Fox in January of last year when he blew off the media for 3 weeks, when he's making a boatload of money. That's right. He's making a boatload of money. And I don't give a damn whether he's a Supermax player or not, because that doesn't mean anything to me. Doesn't mean anything to you. Who cares? You know what means something? A guy that is able to take his team on his back and go places. Here's what I know about De'Aaron Fox. A couple of things. First and foremost, I like him. I like him personally. I like him as a player. Okay? I'm a fan of De'Aaron Fox. But I'm not a fan of this narrative of, well, I got to see whether or not this team's going to be good before I decide on my future here. If the team's not good, you're largely responsible for it. Why? Because you're the best player. You're the guy. You play quarterback on the Kings. All right? You're the guy. Here's what I know about Mr. Supermax, or maybe Mr. Supermax. He's now been in the league 8 years. 8. 1 All-Star appearance where he was added to the team because of injury. That's right. 1 All-Star appearance as an add-on. No All-NBA honors. 1 in 8 years. 1. Count it. 1 playoff series. 8 years no playoff series wins. So pipe down, De'Aaron. Pipe down. Okay? This team is where they're at, and you're a reason why. You're not the reason why, but you're a reason why. At times, your body language is not good. Your behavior, like last January, not good. Your behavior when Tyrese Halliburton was on the team, not good. Talking about body language. All right. You didn't come into your own in the NBA until the Kings traded Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield to get Domantas Sabonis. All right. Domas has changed your game around. Let's just call it the way it is. You went from a good player to a very, very good player. And oh, yeah, you were added on to the All-Star team with your teammate, Mr. Sabonis. So you can take your agent, Rich Paul, and you can go have as many meetings as you want. And here's the bottom line. And I know this because I moved to Sacramento in July of '87. And I know the community very well, a lot better than you do, sir. And it will not take long for this fan base to turn on you if we hear any demands of a trade or anything of that sort. This fan base will turn on you. And you won't be able to get the hell out of town fast enough. So keep that in mind. Again, 8 years, no playoff victories. No All-NBA teams. One All-Star as an add-on because of injury. Pipe down, play the game, and if you want your money, go out and earn the damn thing. There are times when you're brilliant on the court, and we go, wow, look at this guy. We saw it against the Warriors in your one playoff appearance before you broke your finger. You were the best player on the floor. You were the guy that we thought, wow, finally have a superstar. Then what happened? Too many bad games, too many off nights. You still can't shoot. Not good enough, not from beyond the arc. All right? So here's the deal. You're either with the program or you're not. Not, I got to see what the team's going to do. I got to see where we're heading. You know what? You're largely responsible for where the team's heading because you're the guy with the ball. You're the best player. So what's it going to be? You're either all in or you're not. Not halfway, not any of these games with your agent. I'm tired of hearing about your agent. I don't give a damn. You want out of town? Get out of town. You want to stay here and help this team become a successful team? Choose that path. Be careful, young man, because this team is not going anywhere right now. And this fan base, I promise you this, they'll turn on you like that. And that's my rant for today. I can't hear you.
Said great rant, partner. I'm going to ask you the same question. And after this, we're going to get to calls. I've asked this to people on the team. I've asked this to people around the team. I've asked this to people connected to the team. Do De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis make each other better?
I think clearly Sabonis makes Fox better. I'm not willing to say that Fox makes Sabonis better because he was already a two-time All-Star before he got to Sacramento. Okay. You understand what I mean by that?
I do. He's established, right. Yes.
Right. But you can't tell me that Sabonis doesn't make Fox a better player. He does.
100% he does. And so and we'll get back to that question in a little bit. You guys put your answers in the chat. I'm really interested to see what you guys say about that and give us a call on that as well. Jay, what's going on tonight? Kicking us off.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Jay.
Well, I want to answer your question about would Mike Brown be coaching tomorrow if he didn't sign that extension. And this kind of goes with your rant a little bit, unfortunately. Well, that's up to Fox. Because in an interview where it was a post-game interview, the same, we didn't spray the ball enough. Oh, we didn't, shoot enough. We didn't pass, whatever. Mike Brown says himself, Fox does not want me here. I'm not here. So that's up to, I guess, Fox. If Fox feels that this coaching, because at the end of the day, Sabonis makes Fox better. And Ryno, you brought it up earlier. Sabonis, looking at the roster from a salary perspective, you would say, well, Sabonis is the guy on this team. But at the end of the day, to Grant's point, you need an all-star point guard. And we look at Fox as the head of this team. So if Fox feels that this isn't the right coaching staff or decision, then he probably won't be coaching tomorrow.
Well, I would never let De'Aaron Fox make a decision on the coaching staff and the coach. I would never allow that. Never. He hasn't earned that right.
Fair enough.
Nor do I believe that a player, unless the player is extremely special, and I mean Michael Jordan-esque, LeBron-esque, Kobe-esque in his prime, I can go on and on. I would never let a player make a decision like that. I'm certainly not letting a guy that has not won a playoff series in 8 years make a coaching decision for me.
That's a great point. And, I feel like this, like you said, it's a must-win game. But at the same time, I see also a lot of King fans, including myself, thinking that we need some type of shift in this roster that we have currently. If you think about it, this is kind of the path that I don't want to say you want to take, but maybe the path that's needed to show the front office and ownership that we do need to make a change, and we just can't sit and wait. You see yourself, you have great talent on the roster right now, and for some reason it's not translating on the floor. It's clear. Also, I do want to give credit. I don't want to sound like Mike Brown, how he always gives credit, but I do want to give credit to the Lakers game plan. It was very phenomenal how they would have AD guard DeMar in that mid-range and kind of eliminate DeMar for not today, but also on Thursday as well. And you see DeMar with 12 points max.
So a rookie coach with no coaching experience outcoached the Kings coaching staff?
Yeah. I mean, that's to your point, Grant. Yeah, he did. Their game plan was phenomenal, unfortunately. And you're looking at like Mike Brown, like, well, you got to do something better. Go ahead, Ryno.
Yeah, so we talk about these moves, right? The Kings they got to make that big move, right? Well, the Kings have brought in Domantas Sabonis. Mm-hmm. They brought in DeMar DeRozan. Mm-hmm. At what point is the answer this formula of players does not work? I mean, is the big move bringing in a number one and having De'Aaron be the two to that one?
Who are you going to give up to get a number one?
Yeah, you're going to have to include. The only way
you get the number one is with Sabonis.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say.
He's not tradable. I don't.
What kind of number one are you talking about? Are you talking about? I mean, there's not very one. There's not very many number ones that are going to be that people are going to want to get rid of.
And that's my point. That is my point. I'm trying to say I don't think there's really a trade out there.
I don't either.
That turns this thing around and this team around.
I don't either.
Well, I think we can all agree before I hop out that something needs to be done. And to your point, McNair's in the hot seat a little bit. And he would be
not a little bit, a lot of it.
Well, okay, a lot of it. And he would definitely, I think, if it came to, I don't think you should just start pressing the fire button, because then it just starts. The Kings fans have suffered enough for a very, very long time. They're suffering
right now.
We're suffering right now, but I'd rather be down three games under 500 than the past 20 years before 2022. But yeah, McNair would be gone before Mike Brown due to that extension. But that's all I wanted to say. I know you guys probably have a lot of calls today.
Thank you. We got a bunch. Thanks, Jay.
And I keep saying this, but you're not better without Harrison Barnes. I'm just sorry. You're just not. I mean, is Harrison a better all-around player than DeMar DeRozan? I mean, you can debate that all you want, okay? But the fit with DeMar, it just hasn't worked. Well, I'm not blaming it on DeMar. It's not working.
Well, you're trading the things that don't show up on the stat sheet for the things that do show up on the stat sheet.
Very well said. Absolutely. I couldn't say that any better. You're 100% correct. And you also hit it on the head before these two games. You called these two games a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Well, you're now in a disastrous situation because you're burying yourself in a tough conference with the toughest part of your schedule coming up after the first of the year.
Yeah, and I think you've put this very perfectly about the fan base. I think we're starting to see the fan base kind of reject some of the same narratives that we're getting from the team and the coaching staff. It's the small things. We've got to do this. We've got to pay attention to the details. At some point, you got to cut the snake, or cut the head off the snake and make some type of change. Not calling for a job, not calling for anybody to be traded, but you got to bench somebody. You've got to do something and find somebody that will do it. It's just,
it's
tough.
The low point for sure. Not only did you, there's nothing worse than losing to the Lakers at home and seeing those obnoxious Laker fans take over your arena. That's the worst. There's nothing worse than that, other than the Warrior fans. When the Lakers and the Warriors come into your building and win, and their fans take over your building, that's the worst. It's the worst.
Yep, agree. G, what's going on? You're on with us tonight.
Good afternoon from sunny
Hello,
Melbourne, Australia.
hello down under. Good to have you on, mate.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Look, I just wanted to say that I agree with you, Grant, what you said before about Fox, about being there 8 years. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm ready for the team to move on. I think they should move on and just retool with whatever assets they can get, because this team's not going anywhere. To be fair to him, the role players aren't good enough as well. Coaching's been bad. Just there's nothing left to say, really. It's been terrible. And I noticed after the game, he usually, after a Lakers loss, he'll usually be very upset, and he was going over there and shaking their hands. Maybe he wants to go to the Lakers because his agent's close to the Lakers. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that, but I don't really put too much into that. I don't put too much into that, how a player reacts after the game in terms of sportsmanship. I didn't notice it, but thank you for bringing that up, but I didn't notice that, nor would I read too much into that.
Agreed.
Yeah, to be fair to him as well, like first 4 or 5 years of his career, he was playing with players that aren't even in the NBA anymore, like Marvin Bagley, Rashawn Holmes. Some of the players, I even forgot their name. That's how bad those players were. So let's be fair to him on that point. But the last sort of 2 years, he really doesn't have any excuses. It's like some nights he just takes the night off. But tonight he played really well. It's just the role players didn't step up, and that's why they lost. And I don't know. There's nothing left to say. You just got to move on at this point and get as many assets as you can. My thought.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day. You're breaking up on us a little bit, so we'll let you go. But thank you. You have a great day too. Thank you so much for calling from halfway around the world. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. J. Cal, we're coming to you next. First, I got to give this guy some special love because the show crashed on my end for the pregame for about 5 minutes. Zach called in. He held down the fort for about
Good
4
job,
or 5
Zach.
minutes. Well
Appreciate
done,
it, guys.
sir.
How you guys doing tonight?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, just quick talk about the game. I feel like Sabonis isn't going to play tomorrow. I think his injuries are just tagging along. I feel like that affected him on that last rebound.
He's going to try to do everything he can in his power to play against Indiana.
No, I know he's tough. He's a tough nugget, but I just think that he's at that last play. He was guarding LeBron. I could see it, like he was barely could guard LeBron, and he wasn't ready for it. And I think it affected the rebound. I'd be surprised. I mean, he usually plays, but I'm not counting on it. Those back-to-back or that rebound that we missed up on for Davis's free throws, that's like the epitome of the season. And
what about not having a challenge left, by the way, for that ball before that went out of bounds?
Yeah. They challenged the 3-point shot with Keon, right?
Yeah. And they challenged one earlier in the game as well.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about that all the time. It's unbelievable to me.
4 for 22 for Monk, Kevin, and Keegan for 3. I mean, these guys got to make 3-pointers. Just 4.
Well, why would you want them? Why do you think they're going to make 3-pointers when they haven't made them all season?
I was just hoping since the last 2 years they were all right at it, but you know, this year is not one of those years for him, I
Well,
guess.
Zach, Mike Brown said it. I've said it. A bunch of people have said it. There's energy with the ball when it moves. He said it just as recently as yesterday after practice. Those guys, most of the touches they're getting are in transition. They're not within the half court offense.
Yeah.
So they're just not touching it enough.
And Monk was terrible today.
He
He's
was.
I mean, he
Yeah.
very
terrible.
sloppy. He's very sloppy. He's had 10 turnovers in the last 2 games with the Lakers. 10 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's just not going to cut it. And I got to say, DeMar's fit. I mean, you guys are saying that synergy with the ball, moving around the ball. I don't know if DeMar's probably not the fit that we thought he was going to be. Just kind of stagnates the
Pretty
offense
obvious.
a little bit. Yeah. And so we got to consider that. But finally, the Fox thing. I agree with you guys. I don't think there's a trade to really make to improve this team like crazy and get them to that 8th, 7th, 8th seed. But so I don't know. Like, the question is Fox's value good enough that if we trade him to get some good enough value back to be competitive? I don't know if that.
Not in the middle of the season. Be very hard to do that right now. Be very hard to do that.
If we're not going to trade him during the season, then we're going to trade him next year. His value is going to even
Well,
be worse.
what I'm saying is, if you make a trade of that magnitude, you know, it's not just going to come all together overnight. Okay. I
Right.
mean, there's a thing of learning how to play with your teammates, and it's just not, it's not just going to be like a snap of your fingers.
So do you think you guys would want to trade Fox for equal value of a good competitive wing type player, or would you guys try to retool this whole team and try to get picks and younger prospects and stuff like that?
I would not go that route because you're going to have an empty arena for a couple of years, and the fan base will stop coming to your games. And it is a business, and that to me would not be a very good business decision.
If you do decide to trade Fox, what I would say is be in no rush. I think that you hold out, you wait to see what you can get. There's no reason you got to rush him out of town. And you try to get the best deal that makes this more of a recalibration than it does a rebuild.
Yeah, and just last thing, one good thing, Devin Carter will be an asset. Hopefully he comes back soon, shows us that he's a decent player, even though, you know, he's going to be a little rusty in the beginning, but hopefully after a couple months he'll look okay. But just remember that if we're a 1 through 10 seed, we will not have our pick this season. Just keep it in mind.
Yeah. Hey, do you think that Devin Carter pick rubbed Fox the wrong way?
I don't think it should, man, because if we got Tyrese Halliburton, it rubbed him the wrong way. We traded him. We can't just keep. Hey, we drafted a guard. You're gonna get pissed now. Sometimes if Monty thought he was the best player available, he was the best player available. Pick him.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
Take care,
Zach.
guys.
Before we move on, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available around the clock 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing. Again, they're available around the clock for your plumbing needs and repairs. sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Hey, the newest residential community in Calusa is Calusa Sunrise. You go to calusasunrise.com. You get all the information on this Blazona development project out in Calusa. And you talk about Sunrise Landing, many models to choose from. And there's no Melrose, there's no homeowners adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. You have great access to I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Check it all out, Sunrise Landing. Just go to calusasunrise.com. And again, you'll get all the information on Sunrise Landing. Horrible 48 hours for the King. Actually, it goes back to that Denver game.
Yep.
You know, when you blew that game. And once again, you had another bad first quarter. You know, are the Kings ever going to lead after the first quarter anymore?
We'll see. As thin as the bench is, it's been the bench picking them up. That's crazy. By the way, Kings 6-12 in clutch games this year, most played by any team in the NBA, second worst record. J Cal, welcome in with Grant and Ryno.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
Very frustrating. It's probably, I honestly think this is rock bottom for the Kings. Losing to the Lakers 2 at home against the Lakers, and with the Fox news happening, there's not much to say about this team. This team just stinks.
Here's the problem with the Fox News. It's now going to become a everyday thing. Questions
Yeah.
every day. Before the game to the coach, after the game to De'Aaron. Practices, media availability. That's what he's going to be asked. Now it's a distraction for the team on top of everything else.
Exactly. And the way the team is playing and where they stand on the Western Conference, it's not good. And it's just so frustrating watching this team, like when they got DeMar this off season, we were expecting as Kings fans, we were expecting like more wins than this team is just not good. And us Kings fans deserve better, honestly. It's very
Yes, you
frustrating
do.
watching. Yeah, and it's very frustrating watching this game. I know my son is always asking me if he wants to go if he could go to a game, and it's hard because I don't want to spend my hard earned money going to a game and seeing them lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand, but there's also an entertainment value to going to a sporting event. And
Yeah.
yes, you want to see your team win, but like for instance, the second half of the game the other night, that was not entertaining. That was disgusting because the team didn't give you your money's worth with their effort and their
Right.
and that's what bothers me as a fan.
Bingo.
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys, I appreciate you guys doing this every night. I mean, every like Kings game, win or
Yep.
lose.
Well, we
And I wish
appreciate
you
you.
guys I wish you guys a Merry Christmas.
You Merry
as well.
Christmas to you.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you for your
All right.
support.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you.
If you missed my rant, go back and watch it when we're done. I think I'd like to get your opinion on it. I'd like to get your opinion on it because it is going to be the focal point, Ryan. Let's not ignore that aspect. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
This season has now turned into De'Aaron Fox. Okay.
Mhm.
Maybe it was like that at the beginning of the season because he had turned down the deal, but not like it is now.
Mhm.
Now the team is in a nosedive, and you have controversy surrounding your point guard, your guy that you are paying a boatload of money to. That now is the story of this team this year. That's the story.
Yeah, and I think you squarely have to put it on Fox for this reason. If Foxy was playing out of his mind at an all NBA level, and it was the support around him, the coaching, the teammates letting him down, then I think the town would understand, hey, we got to get something more. I want to be here. I think that's a rallying call. But with the team in the midst of adversity, Grant, and having the big homestand, you drop the podcast with Draymond, right? And it's kind of a bad time. And then you have Mike Brown calling him out. I think it's really hard with Fox struggling and not being always consistent to be making these calls and putting this out there. And now putting, as you said, this on the team. It's just one thing on top of another. And Grant, I'm going to kick it a different way really quick. I think we're getting really close to saying 22-23 was an outlier. That was an outlier.
No question. And it was because everyone in the Western Conference was hurt. That had a lot to do with it. I mean, let's just not, ignore that. I want to get to this. Just so you know, can't believe Grant and y'all. First, you idolized Fox beginning of the season. Now you all want to trade him. We've been talking about this now for well over a season about trading De'Aaron Fox. Okay, we didn't say we would trade him. We were talking about it. I don't know about my audience. I don't idolize Fox. Ryan doesn't idolize Fox. We actually, if you want to break it right down to it, we've probably been as critical of De'Aaron Fox as any media member in Sacramento. I'm just telling you the way it is.
Real talk.
Oh, huh?
I said real talk. We have.
Yeah, real talk.
Why do you guys hate Fox? Great. You're so negative about Fox.
I know.
No, it's just, sometimes there's a little bit too much sugar and not enough salt. The reality is when a guy gets to where he's coming up to in his 9th year, that's usually the time where you either go all in with a player and this is going to be it. We're making our run, or you go a different direction. Team struggles. That decision comes sooner rather than later. Especially,
I know what's going on right now. I told you this after the first Lakers game, and you have an owner right now that you're dreading when your phone rings. You're dreading when he knocks on your door. Trust me, because the guy has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea what he's talking about, but you have to listen to him because he's the owner.
Were you dreading that call before this stretch?
I never got a call, but I know people were. He never called me, but he did try to talk to me. And, you know, you be respectful. He's the owner.
Sure,
He's your boss.
absolutely,
You be
absolutely.
respectful, and I was respectful to him. But in my mind, I was going, this guy has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And everyone knows it. It's not like I know it. Everyone knows it. The whole organization knows it. But he owns the team.
He
So you
saved.
can't do anything about it. He owns the team.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Justin, you're in on the conversation. Welcome on tonight. Andy, what's going on? How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, how's it going? My feeling is first you got to blame Monty, because I think where he's really missed it is in the margins, all of the little things.
Bingo.
And you can go back from the beginning decision he made with getting nothing for Bogdanovich. You can go to what the hell the guy, Vinny DiVincenzo, by not picking him up and then going out and getting Herder. Who would you rather have now? Not only if we had DiVincenzo now, we'd have him for less money, and we'd also have that pick that has handcuffed us for the last 2 years. So there are a bunch of, but I'm not going to go down the list. Even look at Keita. I know Keita is not going to make a huge difference, but he's good enough to be on the Celtics right now. Couldn't he be in place of Alex Len? What if he had gotten more minutes like he'd gotten Len's minutes? Maybe he'd have turned into something better than Len is right now. And I just think that he's just missed on the margins in so many ways. And that's the biggest problem. And I do think that Fox, while he can be one of the most brilliant players in the NBA, he doesn't have a dog in him like, say, Brunson in New York. He doesn't have that same kind of mindset. And I think that's killed the Kings as much as anything this year.
You make some good points. You make some very good points. Do you have any hope for this team the rest of the season?
No, I really don't. Not at this point. Not unless they make a trade. And somebody brought up, was Fox mad about the trade pick, the draft pick this year? To me, it's like, what were they doing with this guy? I mean, we needed a wing. We needed somebody big, and we ended up at guard again, and that's all he's done.
Yep. Hey, thanks for the call and chiming in, Andy. We appreciate it.
Andy?
Andy's right about, and we've had this conversation a few times, the trade deadlines, you're not passing on guys that could have made this team incrementally better for not very much. There's just been not a lot of improvement there.
13 and 16. How about that?
Yeah. Yep. Here,
6 and 10 on your home floor.
6 and 10 on your home floor. In fact, we've got audio from De'Aaron at the press conference right now, saying that the Kings need to find enjoyment in playing basketball again. Here you guys go.
And this was something that we talked about before the game. Like, you have to find a sense of like enjoyment playing the game. You know, obviously we all want to win. Everybody needs to do whatever it takes to win. You know, rather than making shots or doing the little things. But at some point, you know, you have to have enjoyment winning or enjoyment playing. And then, you know, you enjoy playing with each other. You enjoy going out there and doing the hard things. And then comes winning. Like,
should you not?
That's a horrible comment if you read between the lines.
Yeah, I was going to say we're 29 games into a season with a revamped team with DeMar DeRozan, and there's no enjoyment here?
Okay, well, then this is just the beginning of the end. If De'Aaron truly believes that, and if that's really what's going on, because that translates into a disconnect with the coaching staff and the team is not on board with what the coaching staff wants.
Right.
The players are not playing for each other, blah, blah, blah. That comment by De'Aaron really would concern me. Really concerns me.
Give us your thoughts in the chat on De'Aaron's comment about
I mean,
finding
I
joy
don't,
in
how else?
playing.
I'm sorry, but how else would you read into that, Ryan? That's a very troubling comment.
Grant, when you're a Sacramento King and you've got the Lakers 2 times at home,
Thank you.
and it's the holidays, and it was just
Thank
your
you.
27th birthday yesterday.
Oh, it could be a distraction because it's the holidays. You got to go.
Yes, Grant, you might have a guest staying over. That is a lot to ask
Oh, yeah,
during the holidays.
absolutely. I'll tell you what's not a lot to ask of you is to get to Bennett's and enjoy a phenomenal meal. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill. Don't forget about their daily happy hours between 2 and 6. Sips and taste. They have great share plates, good prices on the wine, and their brunch. Yes, you can get there tomorrow and enjoy brunch before the game. Just go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's.
Our buddy Brian Bennett sent us a text. If you're having a holiday party, an office get together, check out what Bennett's can do for you.
I don't know about you, but if you're thinking about having a holiday party or a party of any kind, and you don't ask us to make our house smoked salmon, to grill our prime New York steak, to grill long stem artichokes, to make ahi pokey. What are you talking about? You're going to have a party and you're not going to call Bennett's to have them take care of you? My goodness gracious. Give us a call. We can make this for Easter. We can make it for Christmas. We can make it for anybody's.
Okay, I am officially very hungry right now.
Where are you going first out of that spread?
Oh, I'm going right to the New York. I'm going right to the steak, and then tell everyone else that you're going to have to eat the rest of the food because it's going to be all gone.
You're going straight to New York. I'm warming up with the smoked salmon, couple of prawns. Let's go.
No, I'm going right for the steak.
Looks so good. Oh my gosh.
Look so good.
Only
I love
thing
Brian. Brian's such a great man, and so happy for their support on If You Don't Like That.
Beauty.
I could see the team getting blown off the court tomorrow.
I look, 3:00 games are already a problem.
Yes.
And I see it two ways. Kings either blow them out or Indiana blows them off the court.
There's no way the Kings are going to blow out the Pacers, in my opinion.
That's who this team is, though. It's one or the other. And if it's a close game, probably is not going to go the Kings' way. I'll be interested to see what the point spread is in this one. I want to see how Vegas reacts to everything going on with this team and De'Aaron and Coach Brown.
If the Kings get blown out tomorrow, could you see Coach Brown being fired?
I don't think so. I think I see Monty being fired before Coach Brown.
That doesn't do any product on the floor right now.
Well, I know Monty works hand in hand with Wes Wilcox. It doesn't, but I don't. Grant, there's just, where do you start? There's just not that one fix. And if you're Vivek, by the way, really quick, Christmas time, you've got 2 more home games, and this is what's going on right now.
Remember who Vivek is infatuated with as a coach. Mark Jackson.
Yep.
He wanted Mark Jackson. They hired Mike Brown. To his credit, he was the coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Jackson's still available. And Vivek does not give a damn what you have to say or what I have to say. He's going to do what he wants. And he's going to say, hey, okay, you know what? I tried it your way. I know how he is. You talked me out of it. You talked me out of it. Now I'm doing it my way.
Yeah. And here's the other aspect of it, too. I mean, what more can Mike Brown try? You've started Malik Monk now for 9-10 games. You've basically put your best hand out.
He was a no-show today.
Coach Brown?
No, Malik Monk.
Oh, yeah. Malik struggled today. The Lakers' length bothered him. Anthony Davis bothered them. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Lakers out physicaled the
Yes.
Kings. That is just insane to me.
Yep. Does that mean the Kings would eat the $30 million contract? Well, if they fire him, yes. But and I'm not saying that they should. I'm asking a question because I've been through it before with this organization. And I also hate to, I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you, it was stupid to give Mike Brown a contract extension this summer. It was stupid. There was no reason to do it. There was just absolutely no reason to do it.
See,
And it made no sense.
Okay, but how did all that start? It started with Mike Brown's agent presumably putting out in the media that the Kings did not want to pay him market value. And he wants an extension. And what did the fan base do? They pushed back. You got to extend Coach Brown. If we don't have Coach Brown under contract, this thing's going to fall apart, right?
Yeah.
And so I wonder how much of this De'Aaron stuff going on is out of that same playbook. Because if I asked you right now to make the decision, if you were to ship Fox out or you were to ship Coach Brown out, which way are you going?
Well, I know which way I'm going. I'm personally shipping Fox out.
I agree. I couldn't agree more with you.
And by the way, for the folks out there saying Doug Christie's not going to be the coach, and he's not ready to be a coach. And if you think he is, you're delusional.
Well, you did speak about that owner.
The other part of the Kings bench right now, and this is no disrespect, you don't have a Jordi Fernandez sitting on the bench next to Mike Brown this year. So if you fire Mike, well, who are you going to hire?
Well, Jay Triano probably takes over. My guess would be.
You know what? I actually take that back. I'm a big fan of Jay. I like Jay. I like Jay. I'll take that back. Jay to me could coach this team, and that is a possibility. So I take that back. But I guess Jordi Fernandez was sticking out in my mind because of the respect that he had and the fact that everyone knew he was going to get a job. But you're right about Jay Triano. I like Jay.
And that's where it's the double-edged sword also with Luke Laux, right? Mike said that Luke's kind of taken over that defensive coordinator position, and the defensive rating as a whole is better, but the three-point problem is way worse. So you could go back. Is Mike delegated too much? I just think overall, if I have to do scorecards on the year, I think it comes down to, and Mike Brown's made his fair share of mistakes, more lies on the players than it actually does the coaches when it comes to execution, because DeMar DeRozan was wide open in that Nuggets game. He just dropped the ball, Grant.
Yeah, there was a perfectly run play running to the baseline on the ball was, it was a perfectly designed play, and you're right, he fumbled the ball.
Yep, absolutely. Let's go to Connor. Connor, what's going on tonight? Yeah.
So tomorrow we got the same routine, right? And I don't understand these 3:00 games at all. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Holiday time, you've got college football going at all different times.
Again, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I know, especially on an NFL Sunday.
It makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, not a lot of sense in that. But early basketball again. We'll be back at 2:15, and definitely pay attention.
And here's something else that doesn't make sense to me. You're playing a team that's in your town waiting for you, right? Tomorrow.
Yep.
Why would you want to have a game at 3:00 and then have the next game at 3? Put the next game at 7. Give you guys more rest. Give you guys more time to get ready to play. Give you guys, the all day tomorrow to take care of their bodies and get ready. And it's stupid. It's just stupid.
But that's not up to the Kings. It's up to the NBA.
It is up to the Kings. They decide what time their games start.
Oh, the Kings do decide the time.
Hell yes, they decide what time their games start. They don't have to have the game at 3:00 tomorrow. They can have the game at 7:00 or 6:00.
Okay, I did not know that.
They can change. They determine what time their games start. The league doesn't tell you what time the games start unless it's a nationally televised game. That's different.
Oh, so LA gets to choose that they go 30 minutes later than everybody else?
Well,
better.
LA gets to choose. Well, have you been to downtown LA during rush hour?
Yes, I have, but does it matter? They'd
Okay,
still
it
show
does.
up
You
30
know what?
minutes late.
Actually, it does matter. There is a substantial difference in
Really?
LA in that time, but it is what it is. Okay, the Lakers decide what time their games are going to start. The Kings decide what time their games are going to start. But keep this in mind, Ryan. Unless the game's on national TV, if the game's on national TV, the league tells you what time the game's going to start.
Right. That makes sense. And then the Kings, after tomorrow, they go again against Detroit the day after Christmas. So maybe the 3 o'clock, Grant, is to give the guys a little bit extra Christmas time.
There you
They
go.
don't play again until the 26th.
You know what? Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Shame on me.
There you go.
All right, we're getting off the rails here. Final thoughts, my friend?
Up and down season. It's still going to be fun. I just think it's going to be playing. It's going to be up and down, up and down. How about
It's
you?
not going to be fun if they keep playing like this and keep losing. It's not going to be fun.
Well, okay. You're going to have fun games that counterbalance that too.
Yeah, of course you are. But if you
know,
lose the fun games like the Denver game, it really leaves us a bitter taste in your mouth.
Yeah. I'm just saying this team's going to look great on some nights, and other nights they're going to look like they haven't learned the basketball fundamentals. So it is what it is.
All right, tomorrow we'll do it all over again. My thoughts, my final words, go back and check out my rant that I did towards the beginning of the show, and that will tell you how I feel. Thank you, everyone. Maybe I was going to say, maybe you like the beam tomorrow. Who the heck knows with this team? I know one thing. I appreciate the heck out of all of you. Ryan does. We appreciate your support. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Give us a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Back here tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Until then, bye-bye, everybody.